Hey everybody, it's Paul, 125 Roller Coaster Challenge, and we are doing our complete explore walkthrough of Kennywood. So if you're familiar with Kennywood, you actually, on this side of the road, you actually have to go to your, get your tickets and stuff, and then you actually go into a tunnel, which actually goes underneath the road. Now, the funny thing about this is, I'm sure you might have seen this before if you have watched other ones, this grade is here for a reason, because if you get downpours, it really rains. But I like how they kind of have the pagoda here. They have all these things. So now we're here on the first Tuesday that the park's open, and believe it or not, this park is mobbed. So apparently the kids are already out of school here in the Pittsburgh area. So even though I don't like doing explores when it's this crowded, it's what we have to do here. So, and that's where we're going to end. But the first thing you're going to see when you come in, right there is Skyrocket. And of course you got the speedy passes, because you know they definitely want to upgrade you if they can here. So we're going to be seeing this at the end of this video. But when we come in here, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go all the way straight across. Then we're going to go on the low road and work our way back. So this is where we're going to be coming back from. So as soon as you come here, you got the Candy Kaleidoscope, which is a great name for a candy store. And then over here, this is the first coaster you're going to come to, which actually has one of the longer waits that I've seen so far. This is called Skyrocket. Now this is a Skyrocket #1, because they do have Skyrocket 2s and all that. There you go, actually it's going by. Cannot time that better, can we? Got some hang time here, but this is a premiere, but this is the original model. There's only a few of these here. Most of these have turned into Skyrocket 2. And I found out the other day that Full Throttle at Magic Mountain is actually the third version of that. So now, of course, here on your right-hand side, you got Dippin' Dots. And then here is the Old Mill, and we're going to be doing a POV of this later. But right here is kind of where you diverge. This is kind of like the scenic photo thing here with the windmill and everything like that. And great, you know, always a good time, Kennywood there. But we'll be going that way soon, but let's walk by the Old Mill. Now, like I said, this is a classic ride. Now, when I first came here about 5 years ago, it was actually themed after Garfield, if you can believe that. But yeah, pretty much this is a boat ride. And it looks like it's closed right now, but there's all the boats all lined up there. And it's one of those dark rides where you go in there and there's just a lot of really cool stuff. Oh, look, there's Swampin' Yaps, Cowboy Joe at Kennywood there. And over here, you actually got a Laughing Sal. You hardly ever see Laughing Sals anymore, but there is a Laughing Sal. But so as you walk by this way, over on your left-hand side, you got the women's room. Men's rooms are in the back. And then right away, they're going to hit you with games. So you've got a lot of games, and we might be doing a Let's Play today, depending on how much time we have. But you got, you know, that's a block game there. Over here, you got 1898 Coffee Company. So if you need to get some coffee. And here they actually got a full arcade. So unlike a lot of parks, and here's something I've never seen before. A giant Hungry Hippos. So that's kind of cool there. And then over here, you got the gift shop. I'm going to show you that real quick. So as we head over this way, we're going to go to some of the more of the classic rides. And this line right here is for the oldest roller coaster here. That's called the Jackrabbit. 25-minute wait's not too bad. I am going to try to get all 8 coasters today. I do have 2 so far. But this is what line for the Jackrabbit. And then right in front of us here is Steel Curtain. We actually watched it go by real quick. So now this was down all last year, so it's great to see they actually got it up and running again. But it has the most inversions of any coaster, I believe, in the United States. Let me know in the comments section if I'm correct on that, but we'll let it go through this cycle here. But they actually took it down all last year. They didn't take it down, but they closed it off so you get everything working. And there it goes. Watch it come back around. And then we're going to head over to the right. But right here is a big refreshment stand there where you can get all your foods and stuff like that. But we're still here with Jackrabbit, and Jackrabbit is over 100 years old. Actually 105 years this year, so. Now here you actually got paddle boats. Where you can actually rent paddle boats. And right here are all the paddle boats. So there's all the paddle boats that you want there. All right, so these are the paddle boats. There's actually some ducks. So that's always nice and encouraging too. Always love to see ducks. So, all right, so right there is Jackrabbit, and we're gonna head over here. Now over here are some games that actually are not going yet. And hopefully throughout the day they go. There's another shot of pretty good turnarounds there, but here's some more games. So this is more of the scenic part of Kennywood. Sorry about the sneeze there, guys. But I told you this is live. But yeah, we got all games right along here. And right over here is Racer, which is their other classic wooden coaster. Might as well get another good view of this. There's a stall. Gotta love a stall. So there's Racer. That is actually two wooden coasters that go back and forth. And as we're going all the way, so we're hugging the right-hand side of the park, and we're going to head right over here. Here's RC Trucks, but there's no look at Racer. And here's some RC trucks. These are kind of neat. Usually you see RC cars, but here you got the Pittsburgh skyline in the background. That guy's backing up, so of course he squeaks. And this was the newest section right here. It's called Steeler Country. So we're going to walk through there real quick, and we're probably going to do a spotlight on this section sometime this summer. So we're just going to peek in here real quick here, but this is how you get to Steel Curtain. And here's some good shots of the Racer. Now, if you're a historian of good old Kennywood, you would know that this area at one point was where a log jammer was, and I highly recommend watching the Say Goodbye to Log Jammer with Pittsburgh Dad. Quite hilarious. So, and there goes Racer, blue and red. Now over here, this is their area, which has End Zone Cafe. And then for football games, you can watch stuff. It looks like Red's definitely winning that race. But basically down here, you got a whole little interactive area inside there. Then you got the End Zone Cafe. So now we're gonna walk back this way. But you know, if you are from the Pittsburgh area, that this is the Steelers, or what you talk about, even the Penguins, but nobody really talks about the Pirates, let's be honest. So. All right, so now we're pretty much at the far right-hand corner of this park. Now this park is kind of like a Knoebels, where there's not like this spoken wheel. It's kind of a lot of different things are thrown all over the place. So we're gonna be zigzagging in and out. This might be a pretty long walkthrough, but definitely worth it. This is a park we've been wanting to get to for a long time. So back here is Picnic Groves. And now we're on the other side of the pond. So right there, the white coaster right there is Jackrabbit. Now right here you got a lemonade stand, an Oreo stand, funnel cakes. And over here is a nice little game alcove here with the classic Kennywood name. But this one I always like. This one's called Aero 360. And if you know anything about Kennywood, the arrow signs are their logo. They are very proud of their arrow signs. Well, this, they actually turned it into a ride. And then over here, right there is Steel Curtain, so it isn't really far, it's far out there. But over here is actually my favorite place to eat. I haven't been here in 3 years, but Rogue Barbecue is still my favorite to go. So, and it's right there along the water with Steel Curtain going by. And then of course you got a beer garden right here too, which is always very nice. So there's Aero 360, a fast fill, and here you got a nice little fountain. And here at the fountain, basically you got the pizza warehouse. A lot of seating though. But this is the pizza warehouse. Now as you come around this corner here by the fountain, this is the kids section here. So we're going to do a separate walkthrough of the kids area later on. But this is the way you can come through here to get to it, is basically go to the pizza warehouse or a beer garden. But we're not going to do the kids section right now. We're going to come back to it. We're going to be doing another explore, and of course it will be in our playlist at the end. So another good view of Steel Curtain. Getting some great views of Steel Curtain today, aren't we, in this video? All right. So like I said, this is all the kids section here, so I'm gonna go this way quick and show you some stuff. Now you're going to see signs here that say Mexico and Ireland. They're doing their bites and pints this month, so that's why you're going to see those. These are not usually there. And here is the Kittyland entrance, so you can see that. And like I said, we're going to have a full walkthrough of that later on. Now over here, looks like they have a motorcycle, right here, Daredevil Circus. So 3 times a day they got a Daredevil show here, which that looks pretty good. That looks like a lot of fun actually. And over here is the auto race. I'm going to show you this real quick. So this is a kids ride that actually is kind of more of a family ride. And right over here is the Kennywood station. We love trains, and hopefully the train's going today because I would love to get a POV of the train. And over here, there's a couple more kids rides out here. So this is kind of like an extended area for the kids rides. Yeah, those are all kids rides. So we're going to show you that stuff later. Here's the celebration station party room. So you get a little bit of a sneak peek for the kids section. Now, right outside here, so this is probably also Kittyland. They kind of have a couple different entrances, but right here is the fire breathing sausage. So this is the pagoda. So this is a landmark at Kennywood. This is a place that everybody knows about. You can get chicken strips and all that. Even though it's a pagoda, it's actually not Oriental food. And to give you a perspective, right over here is the sign for Kittyland, and right there is the stunt show. All right. So now we're going to walk around this side. We're going to walk up one way. So this is Kennywood Junction. So I guess they have 2 kids sections, but they're kind of glued together. And here you got a lot of games again. This park definitely has a lot of game opportunities. Our Let's Play is going to be epic, to tell you the truth. But over here, this is the junction right here. And I think at one point, there used to be Thomas the Tank Engine. Now, right in front of us there, getting ready to go down the hill, is Thunderbolt, which is the 3rd classic wooden coaster that they have. So they got 3 classic wooden coasters. This one's by far the most aggressive one there. It definitely, we'll see it go by again quick. There you go. And right here in the corner by the skee ball and all that is Ghostwood Estate, which is a dark ride, which yet again, we will try to get a POV of that one later. But real quick here, it is colder this year, so it's not open, but this is called Raging Rapids. So they do have a rapid ride that is right over here by Thunderbolt. Let me show you. So it's all dry, so it's not even close to being open, but they do have a canyon ride here, right there at the far end of the park. Now going up the hill there, that is Phantom's Revenge, and we're going to show you that. But right here, the Pippin is what the original name was. Now it's called Thunderbolt. That's how you enter. So now we're kind of bouncing over to the side. There's some more restrooms right here, and right there is Ghostwood Estates. So we're going to head over to the right first. Right there is a good shot of the Thunderbolt, so you can see what that is. Now, we saw the pagoda. There is another food location. Oh, there goes Phantom's Revenge. There is another food location that everybody talks about, and this is called the Patch, the Pumpkin Patch. As you can tell, the line for this is huge. It is crazy how big that line is for the Pumpkin Patch. But on the other side of this line is actually an attraction that's a classic attraction. There goes Phantom's Revenge. But this is called the Turtle, and the Turtle is just a really cute ride. I'm surprised you can actually, these rides usually don't make it, but here you got a good shot of riding a typical classic ride. There goes Thunderbolt. But look at these turtles, and they totally redone them, so they actually look like turtles. Before they used to just be cylinders. And right over here's the Pumpkin Patch again. And over here is a funnel cake shop right in front of us. Now, we're about halfway done with our walkthrough, so if you like what you see, make sure you like and subscribe to the channel. Also, check out our memberships. We actually have memberships for our park here. But before I go too far here, in the background you see rocking back and forth there, that is Noah's Ark. Now this is another legendary ride that they have here at this park. And this is a walkthrough attraction, almost like a fun house. See the people walking through right up there. This one I might try to do a walkthrough, might not. Depends on how I feel. But over here, this is basically where Thunderbolt is, the main area here. Now we're going to walk over towards Lost Kennywood. So this is the newest added on section here. And this section here, we're going to show you that when we leave Lost Kennywood. But you can see Phantom's Revenge really dominates this area. Now, the one thing about Kennywood is this is a park stuck on the side of a hill. So it is going to be a challenge to do a lot of the footpaths. There goes Phantom's Revenge. All right. So we do have some songs playing here, so hopefully we don't deal with any copyrights. I guess Lost Kennywood was really into the music back then, but we're gonna head over to our right and show you all the stuff here over at the good old pumpkin patch and all that. So what's this? This is Phantom's photo. So this is where Phantom's Revenge exits out into. And as you head over this way, yeah, right there is Phantom's Revenge's exit and stuff. Now over here, you actually got Pedro's, which is different food aspects. Now this one's closed today, but it looks like this would be the Mexican restaurant for the park. And as we head back here, this giant ride in front of us here is called the Black Widow. And this is a giant pendulum. And what I really like about this pendulum is the fact that it gets really close to the coaster. But let's show you some of the beauty of this park. Now, so you got a water attraction right here, and we're going to show you how to get there as we walk around. But pretty much this whole area here has got fountains, and you know, the water ride ends here, but then you got a whole fountain section over here, and then up there by the store. So if we do see something go down, we'll let you know. But yeah, right in front of me is the Black Widow, and if we get a shot of it going, that would be great to see. But we'll see before we leave Lost Kennywood. Hopefully we get that. But I do like the signage there. You don't see signs like that often for a ride, especially here. So the Black Widow is really nice. And like I said, it is one of the bigger swing rides that we've seen. Pendulums, I guess. So now we're going under the water ride, which yet again it is a little chilly here, even though it is May going into June. It is a little chilly, so I don't know if Pittsburgh's plunge is going, but this is how you get to it. So aim for the drop and you get to the Pittsburgh plunge. There goes Phantom's Revenge. And over here you got a classic whip, and you got a hidden coaster, believe it or not. So let me show you how to get to Exterminator, which is a 45-minute wait. It is an indoor coaster. That building behind it is actually the ride, but this is a themed indoor coaster. I actually like it. It's not too bad of a ride, but that line might not happen today. And then over here you got a classic whip, all nicely painted and ready to go. So now we're on the far end of Kennywood, the other long area of the park. So now we're going to be starting to work our way back to the front of the park, and we're going to be weaving in and out of the middle section because there was some rides that we missed as we came back here to Lost Kennywood. So let us know what you think about Kennywood. Have you gone here as a kid? Do you like our walk around, or would you like you know, a little bit less and stuff like that? So, but here's another game section. This place definitely is full of games, which I think is pretty awesome. And you know what? I'm going to pause it for a second and let's go look at Black Widow go. Nope, I was mistaken. It actually was not going. I thought it was, but it was not going. So, but what's really neat is, so this is the end of the water ride, the Pittsburgh Plunge. But over here, here's those fountains I was showing you before, which are really beautiful. Let me give you a quick little look around here. Gotta admit, they did a great job here. Now, this is looks like a storefront, but it doesn't look like it's going to be opening this year. But they do have retail space back there. So, and over here on the far end, you actually have a wave swinger. I don't know what they call it here. It might be a, oh, it's called a wave swinger. So it actually is a wave swinger. And then next to that is their swing. So unlike Hershey Park, they don't have a giant swing, but they do have a swing. So that's the wave swinger. And let's see if I can see. Oh, this one's called Swing Shot. That's a good name. I actually think that's a pretty darn good name. So this is Swing Shot exit here. So now we've seen these at a lot of parks, but they keep getting bigger and bigger. This is one of the original ones. It's probably about 200 feet at the tallest. Now you're getting really big ones here. So, all right, so there's a path over here that takes you around that side, but I'm gonna come over this way and I'm gonna show you the middle section again. But here is one of the main stores. This is where I go to get my stuff. And you can also convert your cash into cards here. So, and you got a candy shop right there too, Carousel Candy. All right, so this is where we entered Lost Kennywood. And now we are going back towards the midway section. Now we're gonna weave in and out of a couple little areas. And like I said, if you know a better way for us to go through Kennywood, let us know. It's one of those things where I stayed up late last night trying to figure out the best way to do this explore. So now we're back here in the mid area, right where the patch is, where you can get your food and stuff. And like I said, for a Tuesday in May, way too many people. So a lot more people than I thought. So we're gonna come back that way. But what I want to do is I don't want to miss anything. So over there is Ghost Estate. So I'm going to walk that way, then turn around, walk back through this way, then go up that hill. So sorry if it's a little bit of repetition, but I'd rather show you something twice than not show you at all. And actually the turtle's going right now. So you're curious to see how the turtle is. Here's how the turtle goes. But look at that line for the potato patch. That is crazy. But that's the turtle right there. Simple concept, but a lot of fun. And there goes the second drop, which is the iconic drop for Phantom's Revenge. All right. So right over here is the Ghost Estate. And we went that way. So now we're going to come through this way here. The pagoda's right in front of us here, but I wanted to show you everything we can. So right here is a little show. The little stage here, the Kennyville stage. And they actually have their mascot dancing right now. That is a dancing arrow sign. I feel like I need to show you this. Hershey Park's got Hershey bars. Here they got dancing arrows. There goes Thunderbolt. All right, so right there is Ghostwood Estates. So let's head this way here. And over here you got Jeter's Pub, which is a place where you can actually get frozen drinks, and a brewery. So like a lot of parks, they actually do have alcohol now at this park. And over here, of course, you've got the Cat Rack, Lobster Pot, Roll-A-Bar, and Goblet Toss. So but this is Jeter's. Jeter's looks like probably a good place to go. And right here you got more claw games. But here, to give you a perspective again, right there is the Pagoda, the Fire and Breathing Sausage. And next to that is the Parkside Cafe. So this is one of the main food courts that you have. But give you a perspective again, right there is Kennywood Junction. And like I said, we'll be going through, doing an explore of the kids section. We'll be dropping that a little bit later. Now remember before we talked about the Daredevil show? Well, let me show you that real quick here. So, because they're actually doing stuff right now. There we go. Daredevil is... So that's the Daredevil show, Daredevil Circus. Excuse me again. All right, so now we're over here by the park side. You know what, we're gonna walk a little bit farther this way. And give you a perspective, we are pretty much right where the, right there is Steel Curtain. And we are kind of right near where Jackrabbit is. But if I don't show you the carousel, I feel like I failed as a tour. There's the racer sign. to give you a perspective. So right here is their main carousel. And it looks like a pretty good one. Now, the one thing I noticed is the organ's not going. So you don't have the carousel music going, but you have the horses going. So that was kind of weird. So right here, that's the pond. Now we're going around the carousel, but I gotta show you this. All right, guys, this is, I'm gonna say it, and you can disagree with me, but you will be wrong. This is the greatest flat ride I've ever been on. And a couple years ago, they said they were taking it out, but the kangaroo lives, people, and they redid the kangaroo, and I couldn't be happier. This is such an iconic ride. I've never seen a ride like this before. It's all about airtime. So we're gonna pause for a second and we're gonna show you that. So, but they did a great job on making this look beautiful, even more beautiful than it is. But let me show you what this ride does. All right, and just like the pumpkin patch, you can tell that this is a great ride because there it is. So you pop up and you pop down. So, all right, so it's a simple concept. You basically go along the track, pop here, but look at the airtime. See that little pop? Everybody gets airtime. Such a simple concept. You go up the ramp, you pop down. So that's the kangaroo. Gotta love the kangaroo. And right here is kind of their center area with their frontiermen, I guess I would go with. And now we're gonna come over here and cut right by. This is the Carousel Burger Company, so if you want to get burgers. But so right near the beginning again, and what we're going to do here is we are going to cut this way. So there's a nice little pagoda here. Right there's the old mill, and right there is the Ferris wheel, the mill, I guess, the windmill when you first come in. So we're hugging this way. We're going towards the inside. And then we got one more little area, and then we are done with this tour. So it's going to be, we're on what, the 24 or 25 minute mark. So that looks like a fun ride. I've seen a lot of these at other parks. So let me see what the name of this one is here. It's one more. I know it's called Mega Vortex over at Waldameer. But it's not called Mega Vortex here. I think it might be space themed, people. It might actually be space themed. You don't want to see me, you want to see the ride, right? Let's see what the name of this bad boy is. There we go. I guess you don't come around this corner because it's kind of tough to actually see the name. So this one is called Cosmic Chaos. That's a good name for it, actually. All right, so that's Cosmic Chaos. And right next to that is Spin-A-Vision, which is one of their newer rides. And it kind of goes here with the whole gift shop here. So there's a whole space theme here that they have at this park. Let's go back here. Battle for the Berg. So you got Cosmic Chaos right there. And then you got Spin-A-Vision. Let's see what this thing does. It's actually kind of neat. I don't think I've seen something like this yet. And it looks like it might do a launch kind of thing where one goes up, one goes down. Let's see, it's gaining speed now. Let's see what it does. Oh, no, you just kind of spin out. You swing out pretty far. So that is a cool little aspect here. And I'm not gonna lie to you, you get good breeze when you're walking by it. So that is Spin-A-Vision, Area 412. Now, why 412? Well, that, of course, is the area code for Pittsburgh. All right, so here's the front of Spin-A-Vision. And now we're gonna head down this way. This is gonna take us back to, oh, there's an Annie Ann's right here. And now we're gonna be heading down this way. Now this, of course, oh, there's a cute little fountain there. I wonder if they used to have boats here, but there's a whole cabana section here. That's kind of weird. Kenny's Cabanas. So I guess if you want a spot to eat lunch and stuff like that, that's where you want to go. All right, guess where we are? We're now at the main section again. Here is Millie's. So you go down that way, it takes you over by the carousel. So we're on this way here, and this is Millie's. This is their homemade ice cream. And right here is Noah's Ark, like we showed you before. Entrance to Noah's Ark. And as we head over this way, right there is a sign for Lost Kennywood. But we want to show you the last section of this park. We have covered every inch, or we will be covering every inch. Oh look, there's a K in the sign there. That's kind of nice. So we're gonna go over here. So there's Lost Kennywood. Now we're coming around this corner here. And we're on the final stretch, people. So if you're still with us, thank you guys. And make sure you like and subscribe to the channel. This is a mixed up area here. And then you got guest services. So there's one in the front of the park, on the other side of the street. And then you also got guest services here if you have a problem. Now, we have seen Phantom's Revenge everywhere, but we actually have not, there's a hydration station, you actually have not seen exactly how to get to Phantom's Revenge. Now, when you come into the park, you're going to make a left while we went straight, and that's going to take you right over here to Phantom's Revenge. Now, in front of us is the Music Express. The Himalaya, these are at a lot of parks. And these are always a lot of fun, as you can tell by the screaming inside. But right here, this is where I want to show you. This is the entrance to Phantom's Revenge. Right through there. And it is actually a long walk to get there, but now, if you remember when you were in Lost Kennywood, over here you had Swing Shot. Well, here is Swing Shot, so it gives you a great perception of where you are. So on the final stretch, here's a Kona water ice. And now we're going to head right to the front of the park. So once again, if you like what you see, make sure you like and subscribe to the channel. It's a simple click for you, but it means a lot to us. Right in front of us here is a pirate ship. So there is Music Express, right next to the classic pirate ship. And over here is a basketball game. They do have a lot of games here, so if you're looking to get some games, this is where you want to go. Oh, they got a little Blackbeard right there. That's their pirate ship. Now this is the space program here. You got another claw games there. And over here you've got one of their theaters, but I don't know if they really utilize the theaters much. They do have Hollywood Nights, so they're advertising stuff for the summer. And here it is, Take Me to the Thunderbolt. So this is how you enter that space area that we walked through on the back end. And of course they got lockers here. So once again, if you like what we do, make sure you like and subscribe to the channel. If you want to get exclusive videos from Kennywood and all the other parks that we go to, for $1.99 we have our Quick Queue membership. And you know what? The entire summer, you buy the lowest membership and you will actually get all the benefits. So there is no tiers until Labor Day. So this entire summer, check it out. You know, you might like what it is. Let us know what kind of stuff you want to see. Now, this is a great name. So you got ladies from here, but so this is the bumper cars, and the name of the bumper cars is Potato Smash. And there's actually potatoes on the front of those cars. So you're literally smashing potatoes. I gotta say, that's a great name, great little concept there. Now, right in front of us is Skyrocket. So we first came in about a half hour ago. That was the Skyrocket entrance. Well, this is where Skyrocket goes. It's actually leaving the station right now. And it is a launch coaster. It is a pretty good launch coaster, so. There it goes, going up the hill. I love how you got a little bit of hang right there before you fall over. So there you go. That is our full park walkthrough of Kennywood. It took us 3 years to get here. It's our 10th park of the year, but what do you think about Kennywood? Let us know what you think in the comment section. And once again, we can't wait to see you in the queue in 2025.